Okay, if you have never set up a Google Classroom before, what you're going to want to do first is either go up to your URL box and type in classroom.google.com, or you can always come over to your waffle and look for the classroom icon. Both places take you to the exact same spot. Now, to create a class, you're going to come over to the right-hand side and you're going to click on this little plus sign. And if you were joining a class, if you were a student, they would click join class. But since you are the teacher, you're going to click create class. Okay, in the first box, you're just going to give it a name. For example, I might say Miss Buckingham's class. You don't have to worry about section or subject or room, but once you click create, it is going to create your classroom. It does take a couple of seconds for it to load. Okay. Once we get in there, it's going to give you just kind of a generic background. If you don't like that theme, you can come over here to where it says select theme, and they have some samples for you. You can search by subject area, or you can go to other. You can pick whichever theme you like. I'm going to go with this one. And if you want to make a custom theme, you can always go to upload photo. Sometimes the photos are kind of shaped wrong, so you kind of have to play around with that until you find what you like. Now, as far as getting this out to your students, the easiest way right now, especially if you have younger students, is to send out maybe in Blackboard or something like that, your class code. If you come over here, you're going to see your class code. And if you're like me, that's kind of small, I can click on the box and it makes it a lot easier for me to read. You can just copy that code and either email it to your parents or send it out in a Blackboard message. Say, hey, parents, I need your students to go to Classroom and join my class using this code. So students, all they would have to do is go to classroom.google.com. Or they can go to the student links page and click on Classroom. They would click on that plus sign that we saw before. Let me show you very quickly. They would click on the plus sign and they would click join class. And that's where they would paste in the code. That would enroll them as a student in your classroom. You have another option if you have older students who check their Gmail regularly. You can come over to the People tab and you can click on the little plus sign where it says Invite Students. This is where you could type in their email addresses and invite them this way. Now, of course, the drawback to that is you would need to know every student's email address and you would have to type those in individually, and we know how that is. So honestly, sending the code is probably going to be the easiest thing for you to do. You have a couple of tabs up here. The stream is where you will post announcements. You can just come right here and share something with your class. You can type in, how is everyone doing? I hope you are well. Please let me know if you have any questions about today's work. Okay. Now, I have a couple of options right here. We're under the For tab. If I have more than one classroom, I can actually send this announcement to more than one classroom. So if I wanted to send this to multiple classes, I could just click on those. And what's really cool is where it says all students. Once your students start joining, if you want to send an announcement or an assignment to everyone, you can leave all students checked. If you need to differentiate and send some assignments to other children who may need a little bit more support, you can actually send that just to those students. You'll see all the names on the drop down. You can just send them to those specific students and it will go just to them. The other kids will not be able to see that their work is different, which is a really, really great feature in Google Classroom. You also have the add button right here. If I needed to add a Google Doc, maybe with my instructions for this week, I can add it straight from my Google Drive. If I have a site that I want them to go to, I can click on link and just paste in the web link right there. You also have the option of uploading a file or even a YouTube video if you need to. Before you click post, I want you to take a look at this little upside down triangle. You have an option here. If you want to post right away, you can click post. If you want to schedule yours to go out, I know we talked about having all the assignments go out at 9 o'clock each day. if you didn't post all of yours for the week and you wanted it to automatically pop up each day so it didn't overwhelm your students, you can actually click on the date that you want it to go out and the time, and it will schedule that event for you, and it will not show up in your student stream until that date and time. You also have the option to save a draft if you are in the middle of working on your plans and you want to start to build your lesson. You can save the draft and always come back to it later on if you need to. The Classwork tab is where assignments will go. When you come over to create, you have a couple of different options. You could create an assignment. If you want to build a Google quiz right here in Google Classroom, you can click on quiz assignment. You can post just a general question that students will answer. If you just want to post some materials that they'll need for the week, you can also do that. You also have the option of reusing a post from a different classroom. Maybe you had one last year and you want to reuse that lesson with them. You can reuse posts from other classrooms as well. One thing I do want to point out is topics are a great way for you to keep all of your work organized, especially if you teach multiple subjects during the day. So my primary grades, my elementary grades, if you have the same kids all day, you might want to make a topic for a certain day. So maybe I'm going to create a topic for Monday. Okay, let's see, that would be March 23rd, I believe. I may be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I can create that topic. Now, within my Monday, March 23rd topic, I could build my assignments there. So I would click create an assignment. And what I would do is over here, I would name my assignment. Maybe this is your reading assignment for Monday. I could put in my instructions. Create. Oops, might help if I could spell. Okay, now right here I told my students I wanted them to read for 20 minutes and I wanted them to write a paragraph about what happened. If I have a certain book online, maybe there's a link to the book, I could put add and do link. Okay, that's where you can also put YouTube videos to stories that are read aloud. And where it says write a paragraph about what happened, my students could just do that on notebook paper, but if you want to create a Google Doc for them for their reading response, I can go to create and I can create a document. Takes it a couple of seconds. And then inside this document, I could give it a name. Let's just say I'm going to call this reading response. Bear with me with my internet. Okay, I could call this reading response journal. And then here's where I could post my question. I could say, Monday, write a paragraph about what happened in your story today. Okay, so now my document has a name, I believe. Oops, let me fix that. There, okay. So now that my document has a name, I can come back over to my Classwork tab. Okay, and this is really important right here. If I just leave students can view file, they can just look at that sheet, but we want them to actually type on it. If I choose students can edit file, they would all be typing on the same document, and we all know how that's going to go. So what I like to do is make a copy for each student. That way it will automatically make a copy of the document with the student's name on it, which is fabulous. Now coming over here to the right, I have some options. If I needed to assign this to multiple classes, I could do that right there. If I only wanted to assign this to certain students, I could do that. If only Sarah was my student right there. Right now, she's my only student, so it would automatically go to everyone. But from here, I could assign it to just certain students. I can put in a due date, but I know that we're kind of being relaxed about that for right now, so I'm just going to leave no due date there. This is very important. If I'm grouping my assignments by topic, I can go to topic and I can put this one under my Monday, March 23rd topic. If I have a rubric, I can attach it right here. There's also, if you teach older students, sometimes, they want to copy and paste things from the internet. You can actually run an originality report, which will compare what they type in the Google Doc to other websites to try to cut down a little bit on some plagiarism so you don't have to worry about that. Up here next to assign, I see my drop-down menu. It gives me my options to schedule it or just save the draft if I wanted to come back and continue working on it. But I'm going to go ahead and click on assign. That's going to assign the work. Your students will get a Gmail that lets them know there's a new assignment. And this is what it will look like under the Classwork tab. Notice that I have my topic for Monday, March 23rd. This is where I would have my assignment. The students would just click on it and then they would open it up. Their side's going to look a little different from yours because we don't have student view for the teachers to see what it looks like to a student. So on your end, it's going to show you when students turn it in and how many were assigned. If you made a mistake on an assignment, all you have to do is come over to the three dots. You can edit, and then if you just want to delete it, you can as well. Don't forget your people tab shows you the students who have joined your classroom. Looks like my daughter joined, so she's going to be my test subject. There is a grades tab where if you want to grade your assignments, you can put those in there. That's just available. You do not have to use that at all. It's just available for you. If you have any questions about using Google Classroom, do not hesitate to let me know. We can set up a Google Meet and we can share your screen and walk you straight through it. I hope this helps you out a little bit. Hope you have a great day.